What's good, people? It's about that time to randomly relate, reverse rants, no hate. Okay, so I saw a Teofimo Lopez interview. And he talked about a lot of things in his interview. It was a pretty long interview. I forget the young lady's name that was interviewing him, but Teofimo Lopez always says a lot of controversial things. He says a lot of things that's not true. Okay, the things that he said that is true, if we've seen it, we understand it, then we know it's true, right? But things we don't see with Teofimo, you have to question. It's just Teofimo says a lot of things. He contradicts himself a lot, okay? For one, Teofimo Lopez, he makes this claim that Terrence Crawford cherry picks injured fighters. Then you should be able to say who these guys were. Now, he claims he's calling out to Crawford. He wants to fight Crawford, and he's saying things about Crawford. And I realized that he did this on more than one occasion. So I said, okay. First off, here we go again with guys calling people out that's not in their weight class. Yet, you're making no effort to go up to that weight class. So it's just basically an empty threat as far as I'm concerned. Why? You are speaking as though you are a threat. Okay, are you going to 147 or no? Right? Same thing with Alicia Baumgartner saying she calls out Shields. Meet me at 147. You don't call the shots. You understand? And the fact of the matter is, it would make zero sense for Shields. It really does. I mean, what's there? I'm a champion, but I'm just going to drop down to fight somebody who holds no belts. Neither one of us hold belts in this division. Do I need to fight at 147? No. What's the point? Just to say I went down, kicked this woman's ass. Oh, she was too small. Big deal. And the hate's always there. Okay. So, that being said, if she can go up and fight Savannah Marshall's big ass, okay, you know damn well she's not afraid of no little Alicia Baumgartner. Regardless, just saying what makes sense and what doesn't. So, for Teo, you should have been able to say who these fighters were that were injured, right? But he couldn't. So, we know Errol Spence just had cataract surgery. And, you hear in the clip, you hear Terrence Crawford, you hear Errol Spence say, why you think he was able to hit me with so many jabs and hooks, right? He didn't say that's the reason he lost. You understand? You heard him ask the question, like he was basically a rhetorical question, like why you think he was able to hit me with so many jabs and hooks? So, the eye, in other words. Okay, whatever. So, Teofimo's piggybacking off of that. Okay, now, the only way that would make sense is if it's a situation where Terrence Crawford fought some guys that was injured, and sometimes you do have people go to different gyms watching sparring, or they might be there as a cameraman, whatever. Just say certain people might get word about things that this fighter was injured, and so come back and let that person know. But you got to understand, things like that don't stay under wraps long because people talk. So for all these guys that he's claiming that Terrence Crawford fought them because they were injured, and so yeah, he just cherry picks injured fighters. That's something you need to prove, not just make claims. That's the same, like similar nonsense. Oh, Floyd only fought guys they were too young or too old. Well, first off, he can't make you fight them, and then two, every time someone say that, they always overlook all these fighters, the Prince Nassim Hameds, the Marco Antonio Barreras, when Floyd was calling these guys out, and you can put the receipts up, yeah, but what? Yeah, even the commentator going, the interviewer, he's not going to want to fight you, right? I've put receipts up, but people don't say these things. They don't make the truth known. They create a narrative, and then everybody piggybacks because, well, it's cool to hate this guy. What are they saying about him? Okay, now I'm going to make a video and say the same things about him. This is what they do. Okay, so you make these claims, but bottom line is when Teo says these things, you got to think. Example, like Teo says, Devin Haney versus Kambosos was a set-up fight from the very beginning. It was set up for Haney to win. Okay, you see the problem with telling lies? That can't possibly be his opinion. There's a bitterness inside of him towards Devin Haney. Devin Haney's called him out multiple occasions, got in his face. Him and his father comes up. And Teofimo always says one thing and does something different. Now, we know he doesn't like Haney. Now, he says that the fight was set up. A casual, for someone who's not, or even just someone who doesn't know the score that's watching boxing now. People who are depending on, these channels to give them boxing news and knowledge. Well, you know what he won't say and what they won't be aware of? It sounds completely, ridiculously stupid that a fight was set up between George Kambosos and Devin Haney for Devin Haney to win when one, he fought on all of George Kambosos' terms. Okay? Went to his country, not once, but twice. Took the less money, both fights. I remember somebody trying to tell me, oh, if you look, he didn't take. No, yes, he fucking did. I put the information up and showed everybody. But you always got somebody that just want to always try to justify a bullshit notion that has no weight to it. Yes, he took less money in both fights. It's facts. It's no, oh, but if you look at look at shit. He made it clear. They sat right there at the fucking press conference and made it known. And so did George Kambosos. Yes, so Haney was basically throwing something that was supposed to make him say, you crazy. I beat you. And I got to not only take less money in the rematch, but also the rematch has to also be in Australia. Yeah, they're not going to tell you that. They're also not going to tell you that, well, Bill Haney, his dad, had gotten in some trouble at some point back in the day. And all of a sudden now, they tried to keep his dad from coming to Australia. But his dad was able to make it. Now, guess what? That's a distraction. Let's put the shoe on the other foot. Teofimo Lopez has to go to Australia to fight George Kambosos. Now, George Kambosos, his dad doesn't make it, right? It seemed like his dad's not going to make it. You don't think Teofimo will be saying, man, he did that on purpose. It was set up for me to lose. All that's a distraction. You know, my dad is a major piece in my corner, man, in my life, period. That's my dad. And they did that to take my focus off so, George Kambosos can win and I'm fighting in his country. You don't think he would have said something like that? Two, do you think George Kambosos would have even took that deal? Think about it. Think about it. Because whatever he settled for against Teo, like the no rematch clause and all that, but the fight still took place right here in America. Do you understand what I'm saying? He didn't have to go to his country. That's what I'm saying. It's easy to speak on somebody else's situation, but then we look at your own situations and how you didn't handle them with the best knowledge, right? Didn't use the best wisdom. So think about it. He says that, and people that don't know, they repeat things. And liars repeat things even when they know the truth. So when he says that, and then it's you got to think, how honest is he being to say that? Do you really believe that fight was set up for Haney to win? You have to be a completely stupid person to really believe that. So it don't matter. He's saying that nonsense, but sheep follow, right? Okay. They made a mentions of him of Haney saying he's going up to 140. I forget the name that Teofimo said that he was gonna fight at 140. In other words, the guy's name he said, he was basically saying it as if he's going to cherry pick and take an easy fight at 140. That's what he was trying to say. The interviewer said he mentioned Conor Ben, and T.O. he ain't fighting no Conor Ben. He ain't fighting Conor. And see, and this is my point. He's not going to fight Conor Ben. Why do you say that? As if, nah, he knows that Conor's a serious fighter. Okay. He was trying to fight you, Teofimo. Now, think about it. Yeah. Why didn't that fight happen? It wasn't because of Haney. You didn't want the fight. You know what's funny? And this is how you always can just look at the hypocrisy of people. Anytime you see Bill Haney speaking on behalf of Devin, he speaks on his skill set, he's speaking on where he stands in the sport, and he's trying to promote his son as a brand as well as promote the next big fight. That's what Bill does. That's his job. Okay? That's what he does. He's not about jumping out here trying to criticize people. Oh, they're not on my son level. We don't want to fight this. No. He wants to try to get the biggest fights he can for his son. The opponents come up with the excuses. Haney's boring. Nobody wants to see Haney. Haney this. He can't punch. They always make the same stupid excuses. Now, when Bill retaliates, okay, that's what he's retaliating against the comments that's made. Let's make the fight happen. Why is it that every time Bill Haney speaks up, oh man, Bill always talking for Devin? Wait, he's promoting. He's trying to make fights happen. That's what a freaking promoter does. That's what a manager does. They want to talk up for their fighter, where the fighter themselves is not getting caught up in all of that. And if you watch, you don't see Devin Haney on video after video after video. No. But when T.O.'s dad jumps in front of a camera, all he does is curse and swear and argue and talk about how these dudes ain't shit, they lies, man, fuck these motherfuckers, man, yo, man, these men, and it's always some goofy shit. He's being combative. He's not trying to get contracts signed. That's not what he's doing. That's not business. He's not standing on business. He's not saying, no, we want to get my son versus this guy. No. All he talks about is how nobody can touch Teofimo. All he talks about is conspiracies and always trying to defend his son to where people don't have the right to believe what their own two eyes see. Okay? And what comes out of their mouths. Okay, we don't hear it. No. Nah, it's because of, man, in this and this and this. Right? This is the type of stuff that they say, that he does, and they say things about him as if he's just doing a job for his son. He's not promoting fights. That's not his purpose. Bill is trying to connect the dots to get from one place to the next so we can make a fight happen. Okay? Teofimo's dad is just being combative and talking shit. That's all he's doing. Okay? We've seen several times Devin Haney and Bill roll up on Teofimo and his dad. And all Devin Haney wants to do is fight the guy. And every single time we've seen it, you've never seen Teofimo roll up on Devin Haney. You've never seen that shit. You've never seen that Haney, and then Haney backs down and, oh man, you ain't on my level. You got to go fight him first. No, it's always the other way around. Now, if you're a Teofimo Lopez fan, I don't give a shit. That doesn't matter. I'm nobody's fan. Not a Haney fan, not a T.O. fan, nobody. I'm just telling you exactly how it is. If you look at it, and we got receipts for all of it, okay? If you look at it, Teofimo Lopez, okay, was supposed to be the one, because his word was he's going to lead and usher this new generation in where the best will fight the best. You're going to see a change in boxing, and we've yet to see him or boxing itself in all this shit. You don't control anything, okay? But what you want to do and who you want to fight, well, that's where things get cloudy with Teofimo too, because his words and his actions don't add up. Now, if you think about it, we've seen his dad stand there and shake Bob Arum's hand and promise that the next fight was going to be Teofimo versus Lomachenko. We've seen his father, we've seen Teofimo shake Bill Haney's hand on camera and say he promised the next fight is going to be between Teofimo and Haney. Remember the same video too? Where Teofimo said, man, you want to fight, sign the contract. And he's like, what contract? What? You ain't send no contract. You the champ, right? What contract? Okay. And guess what? Haney's also the champ. Well, what's Haney telling them? Y'all acting like my WBC belt don't mean nothing, right? You got all the belts, right? All the other belts. Send the contract. So when he's saying sign the contract, well, that means you're implying you sent one. What contract? What fucking contract? Right, there's no contract. And you see that Haney gets under T.O.'s skin anytime they're around each other because he just don't want to fight him. Now, not only that, look at this guy, Aaron, what is his name? Barboza or something, whatever. He rolls up on Teofimo. He's calling Teofimo out to fight. Once again, what do we see at T.O. do? Back down and don't want to fight the guy. So in the interview, he's implying these guys don't really want to fight me. They know they can't beat me. I know they can't beat me. They just want the paycheck. I work my ass off to get here and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you work your ass off to get here and you're the only one that's working to get there. Now, when they call you out for a fight, nobody's worthy. You said George Kambosos was better than Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, right? All the other top guys at 135. You said that. Then you went in there and lost. You said he's more dangerous. He has a better resume. These are T.O. words, not Aries. His words. He lost. He did the very thing he accused Lomachenko of doing. When he beat Lomachenko took that picture in the hospital bed with his shoulder wrapped. What did he do? He said, yeah, excuses. He didn't even want to give me a rematch. He didn't put the rematch clause in because he thought he was going to beat me. So why should I fight him again, right? Now all of a sudden, it was his shoulder. Then when he lose, he almost died in the ring. Man, almost died. Took the picture with the mask on his face and all that. And see, all of those things, talking, not realizing the same dirt that you kick in the air at somebody, the fucking wind could blow at any time and blow that shit right back at you. So now it's an excuse for Loma, but it's a reason for you. People don't think about things like that. But these are the facts. Now, you don't want to fight this guy, Aaron Barboza, or whatever his name is. You back down from him. And see, you belittle him and try to shoot him down in an interview like he simply just doesn't deserve it. Did George Kambosos actually deserve it? But you see what happened. No different from what just happened with De Los Santos and Shakur. Now Shakur got the decision, but basically Shakur talked like this dude ain't on my level. This dude has done nothing, man. I'ma smoke this dude. That's not what happened. So this is what I'm saying. Telling us what you can do and what's gonna happen if I fight this. No, don't tell us nothing. Just sign a goddamn contract, get in there, earn your keep, show us what you can do. That's just the way it should be, okay? So, with that being said, that whole interview to me was just weird. And then people, oh, how could you not love this guy? Yo, the guy's entertaining. He did, okay. Well, how could you not love somebody and simply just don't love them? I mean, y'all, how could, I don't know. These weird-ass people just always talk about loving somebody, worshiping somebody, following somebody, putting people on pedestals. I don't care about any of that nonsense. He says a lot of things that he don't understand. He causes. Like he's talking about how people, if you look at the timetable, I fought 3 times in 10 months. People saying I don't fight and I'm not fighting. T.O., you told everybody you're retired. You said that. You said you're retired. Then you turn around and don't realize we all see the rankings. You're still champion, which means you're still paying a sanctioning fee. Okay? When you retire, you don't have the belts anymore. When Mayweather fought Andre Berto, immediately, he was not in the rankings anymore. He retired. So no, his last fight wasn't with Andre Berto. Nah, this is my exit strategy. I'm getting ready to make $300 million against Conor McGregor. So when I come back, guess what? I don't have no belts. I'm not holding up no fights. Nope. But but I'm about to cash out the biggest payday in the history of boxing. I'm about to make $300 million. That's what he did. He was no longer ranked. And that's a lot of big reason why a lot of boxers was pissed off. Why? Because they can't do that. They can't make that kind of money. That's why I say, when you people are sitting here talking shit like this man didn't do nothing, okay, you believe that shit if you want to, but you guys know better than that. You don't pay a motherfucking $300 million because he ain't fighting nobody, he ducking everybody and all this stupid bullshit. Even these guys, like all that, don't you duck me, son, don't duck me, son. Y'all, yeah, look at what they've done in their careers. It pales in comparison. And there's still no megastars, no superstars, still sitting up, not fighting, fight once every 2.5 years or some shit like that. And then what? So why are you not in the ring doing what you claim Floyd didn't do? This is what I mean with people, man. They say things and you look at them, it's just bitterness, it's jealousy, it's envy. How this motherfucker able to come back and make $300 million against Conor, and I can't make that your whole career. Exactly. Why is he able to still come back and be a huge draw doing exhibitions and make more money than you active fighters? Because you guys are not standing on business. You're all about, I'm the A side. You're trying to you're trying to mimic Floyd. You're trying to be what you're not. And you don't have that kind of star power. Not to mention, when you look at who's who, instead of you guys wanting to fight each other, like Floyd telling Pacquiao, just take the test. That's all. I just want to make sure you fight on a level playing field. Just take the test if you ain't got nothing to hide. That's not saying I don't want to fight you. Oh, he's doing that on purpose because he know Pacquiao's not going to take. Why would he not want to take the test? Why would sanctioning bodies? Why would these commissions and all these anti-doping companies? Why would they not want to make sure that everybody's clean? That's all he was saying. I remember Dan Rafael chimed in with Floyd Mayweather have to understand he doesn't control boxing. He can't. No, shut the fuck up. Any fighter jumping in that ring, putting their life on the line, okay, should have the common sense that if you feel some way about a certain fighter, you got the right to bring it to the forefront. I mean, along with doping, if Shane Mosley's trainer did not catch Margarito with that plaster in his gloves, right? Just saying. He may have never been exposed. I see how they do it. Y'all know how you wrap your hands, right? With the gauze, right? Make that nice, yeah, they wrap the plaster in to the gauze. When they get like midway, wrap it some more, make it some more. It looks, when they finish wrapping that shit, it looks like a wristband, like you can slide your head in the wristband. That's all, and then they come on top with another layer. That's why, for y'all that don't know, when we wrapping our hands, when you see that big, how the knuckle always look huge, and how they get like that, that's what they do. And then they wrap on top, they wrap that, okay, it's here across the knuckle, and they wrap that down. Which is exactly why, when I'm telling you guys, there's no fucking possible way for a fighter to wrap an egg weight in their fucking gloves and not risk the point of breaking their fucking hand. That egg weight is going to rest in between your okay, somewhere here. That's going against your fucking bone. That little gauze, especially, imagine when your hands start to sweat and get wet. Okay, that plastic gets hard. So imagine an egg weight. Now that gauze is softened up and you got this big hunk of metal. You know how easily you could break your shit? But that's why he had his hand halfway in the glove. Well, asshole, if he had his hand halfway in the glove, you can get no fucking power. And that means the tip of the glove is not even there. The only thing that made sense with that is him trying to hit you with your palm. But that means you're punching like this or trying to slap with your palm, which is going to be far less effective than punching with your glove. Now, a palm strike is different because you hit with force. But with your hands closed, I know y'all don't know shit about boxing. Y'all don't know nothing. Y'all don't know y'all don't even know how to wrap hands. Y'all don't even know how to do none of that shit. But y'all be talking out of fanboyism. So, back to my point, okay? For all these accusations and things that you hear people make, my whole thing is this. T.O., just like anybody knows, what's important and what we care about is that you guys fight. You give us our money's worth. and basically understand, telling your fans, I love y'all, I appreciate y'all for coming out supporting it. Don't have to have your back pushed against the wall to make a fight happen. So now this guy, Aaron, that's calling you out, you don't want to fight him and you think that he hasn't earned anything, right? Okay. But you have nobody on your hit list. So when a lady asks you, do you see yourself coming back in, 2024 or whatever to fight whoever, she said, or do you think that we're going to see you in the ring or whatever? With whoever it was, he said, against Devin Haney, I think she said. It might have been. But anyway, he said, you know what I see myself doing? I see myself changing the sport of boxing, coming back and doing this and this. Okay, wait. See, now you're, once again, telling people that you're not retired if you're coming back to do anything. It's common sense. And when I say the dude is not retired, just like Tyson Fury with that, I'm retired. No. Anytime you retire, you are stripped of your belts. The same way when Floyd retired and came back and fought against Marquez. This is what I'm saying to you. His retirement was because I'm just really taking time off. Let my hands heal, everything. You understand what I'm saying? My body's breaking down. You constantly heard Floyd say that. You strip these fighters of their belts. They're no longer champion. Simple. And that's what people, they just overlook facts because they think with emotion. And not even thinking, they're just acting off emotion, okay? And they don't realize how ignorant they sound. So, when I'm listening to T.O., I'm thinking, yeah, this is typical T.O. I don't care about people finding it entertaining or whatever. The whole thing with me and listening to him talk is, if you don't have an opponent in mind, okay, it's easy for you to critique everybody else and what they're doing and what their plans are. But when you're asked a question about you throw the deflections out. And when people can't answer a simple question, it's because they don't want to say something that they're going to have to be held accountable for. You understand what I'm saying? So when you got guys running up on you, trying to get fights with you, and all you do is back down and make excuses as to why they don't deserve a fight with you, what kind of fighter are you, man? What kind of spirit do you have? What kind of, I would love to sit down with a lot of fighters and just stare right in their face and just ask them one simple question. What happened to you, man? Seriously, what happened to you? Because when you're hungry, like I keep telling you guys, when you're hungry, it's before you start to become big time. And that's why they always complain about money and they ain't paying me this and that, but they're hungry. As soon as they get in a certain position, they go into this excuse mode of, when I was doing this, you know what I'm saying? When nobody sent it, and then I was fighting for less money, and now, so now you're going to become what you despise. Teofimo's already 26 years old, and I swear it don't even seem like 4 years. I can remember him like it was yesterday gone. I'm only 22 years old, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm only 21 years old. Even, and I'm like, damn, like, yeah. You're letting prime years of your life go by, man. It's not about trying to fight 1,000 times in your career. No, you don't need to do all of that. What you need to do is fight nothing but the top guys. That's why elite fighters, I keep saying it, champions, top level, you supposed to move different from the rest of the pack. That's what make you elite. So now when people go, oh, but the champ's supposed to fight everybody. Yes, that's the point. I'm going to beat everybody. I'm fighting nothing but top level guys. That's what you're supposed to do. No, what you guys think that is supposed to happen is the entire top 10 is supposed to eliminate each other, and then the champ can just have a pecking order of 2 or 3 good opponents. If I just go in the ring and I knock out a guy, he's the #1 contender, and I knock him out, I don't take any punishment, I'm good to go. Why am I not right back in it? Yo, we want the #2 contender next. We want this guy, we want that guy. Now, in terms of popularity, and they're trying to get you to fight another guy, if this dude is not in my weight class, why am I worried about him? Because if he's in my weight class and he has way more popularity than the top 5, Okay, after I knock him out, I continue my list. Do you understand? Because you're not going to understand something. When most fighters retire and you look at the list of fighters that they beat, it's usually about 3 fighters, maybe 4 sometime, but maybe like 3, 2 or 3 that motherfucker, he fought everybody. It's like, okay. This guy's a Hall of Famer, he's a Hall of Famer. Okay, so like you go, like I said, 2 or 3. It's not like when you look at their careers, most fighters, it's what I'm telling you, they don't spend a career fighting champions and former champions. So they'll have 3 or 4 guys on their resume that's why I say, when you look at guys like Floyd Mayweather's resume, people be talking that shit. I'm like, y'all tripping. Y'all are tripping. You got a guy who beat Hall of Famers, and you praise these guys because y'all forget. Oh, damn, I forgot Floyd beat him. But Floyd fought him when he was too old. Well, he was too young when Floyd fought. There's always an excuse. Muhammad Ali, Ray Leonard. You look at these guys. It's what I'm telling you. They had some solid guys on their resume. But I'm saying, when you look and go, okay, yeah, these were all good fighters. He was great, he was great, he was great, he was great. That everybody else is just good. It's still a hell of a resume. But my point of what I'm telling you is, I don't care how many, if you have a long career especially, you did not fight 20 or 25. And that's any fighter. You did not fight 20 or 25 guys that was all A+ or A-. No. That's my point. Because even to be a champion doesn't mean you're an A-class fighter. Do you understand? There's levels. Berman Stavern held the belt. Let's not forget. Charles Martin held the belt. Let's not forget. Trevor Bryant held the belt. Let's not forget. So that's the point of what I'm saying. Now, the problem with the jealousy is when you say, okay, this guy beat more former champions and world champions than everybody else, right? Because you don't like the guy. Yeah, but that don't mean that. Why are you saying that? Because you realize that he has more wins against former champions and world champions than the guys that you like more, especially when they beat the same guy that you're saying he's not better than or don't have a better resume than. And the other thing is because y'all don't know what the fuck y'all talking about, and you're not aware of these things. And this is in the history books. This isn't a fighter putting his wins together. No, this is in the history books. So people, boxing as we know it, and let me say this. Teofimo in that same interview made a comment. People think, they're gonna go over and fight in Saudi and all that. Like he's against that. See the point? What I'm telling you. When you hear me say the Saudis and what they're doing, they're exposing people. How? Hey, we got an offer for you. We want this and this. This is what we paying, but you got to fight him. That's how they're exposing you. Why? Because like I'm saying, you have to have a logical explanation and reason as to why you don't want to fight that guy. Why would Haney not want to fight Teofimo and vice versa? Why would Tank not want to fight Shakur Stevenson and vice versa? So even when I hear Tank say shit like, yo, Shakur gonna have to go have another fight or two, man, get that back, get some more interest in the fight. Remember people said the reason Tank is not fighting Lomachenko and all these other top guys is because Floyd and Leonard Ellaby is holding him back. And I said, no, that's not true. Because even if they're telling him to let her fight, just wait, hold off. You don't need it right now. You're making your money. We're going to make you the biggest star in boxing. And guess what? The demand, everything is going to be in your court. Okay, whatever. Remember I said, regardless of all of that, Tank still has the final say-so. Now, all of a sudden, what's happening? Is it still Floyd and Leonard Ellaby? No, I keep telling you guys, man. It's up to the fighters. Now, if the networks don't want a particular fight, okay, we got to find a network. That's all. But for you to be considered the face of boxing or one of the faces of boxing or whatever, but yet all you do is sit there and talk about this guy's not on your level and these niggas is broke, we get money over here. How you blame that on Floyd and Leonard Ellaby? Here's a fighter clearly telling you he's not interested. And why? Why? So now, that's my point with the Saudis. And why would Teofimo make a reference to people who think they're gonna go fight over in Saudi and all? Like it's not necessary. Same guy. If ESPN one of these black fighters, they could have him. What do you mean? What do you mean? Listen, y'all. If Teofimo, who's 26 years old right now, is going to continue to do the things the way he's doing, stay out the ring for whatever reason, holding a belt hostage, that's what happens when you become champion and nobody puts pressure on you to say, or give you a mandatory, and guys are calling you out because it's like, man, this dude is here holding a belt. He beat Josh Taylor, and he just went incognito, and he's claiming he's retired. He's not retired. Everybody knows that. Okay? He's not retired. So now, for him to say he's going to change and reshape boxing and all that, okay, it all sounds good. But how are you going to do that when you're turning fights down? So when you come back, the ring rust is always an excuse to come back against a lesser opponent. Let me give y'all a scenario. Let's say right now, the Saudis say, hey, Jerron, we got to fight for you. Now, I know Ortiz just went up to 140, 154, but anybody, let's just say, okay, you know what? Let's just say they said, we want you to fight Ugas. Now, I wouldn't see Ugas as being put on a Saudi card, but you never know. They was going to put Derek Chisora in there. But let's just say that they said Ugas versus Jerron Boots Ennis. He's on a Saudi card. Let's say strategically they go, what's the most money Terrence Crawford ever made in a fight? Now let's just say it was $15 million. I don't know what the number was. Let's just say it was $15 million. Let's say they say what's the most Keith Thurman ever made in a fight? Let's just say it was $10 million. Let's say this fight happens, but they offer Jerron Boots Ennis $20 million. He goes in there and he smokes Ugas out of his boots. People start comparing the performances with Errol Spence and Ugas and all that. Now people go, oh, but he's older than that, whatever. But now people will start, and let's say he goes in there and put on a stellar performance. People are talking about Boots Ennis now. Boots Ennis isn't talking about Keith Thurman. He's not talking about Crawford by design. No. They don't want to fight you. They're acting like you're not on a level, right? Don't worry about them. Don't worry. We're going to just keep moving forward. All of a sudden, they have another card. They put Boots on it against whoever. He smokes him. But let's say now he makes $25 million. Well, in negotiation with Keith Thurman or Terrence Crawford, if he's made way more than both of them, and they've never made that kind of money, right? Even for, let's just say, Crawford to be considered pound for pound or whatever, now he wants to consider himself the A side. Let's say Boots and his people say, listen, man, we've been trying to fight you for the longest. Keith Thurman, we've been trying to fight you for the longest. You guys ignored us. Y'all don't want to fight. You guys are old news as far as we're concerned. We're the young, fresh blood here now, and we're moving forward. So we're not going to take less money. We're not going to take no crumbs. We don't need your belts. We don't need your belt, Crawford. And Keith, what do you offer us other than the fact that you was a champion at one point? So we're not, Now imagine Crawford or Keith Thurman saying, oh, man, offered to fight Boots. He don't want to fight. He's ducking me. No. He's not ducking you. He's giving you a dose of your own medicine because now he went out there and made more money. And what did they always say? You make what you made in your last fight, which means he made more than both of you. So how the fuck are you going to try to demand that he takes less money? Oh, I'm the A side. Well, Keith Thurman certainly can't make that A side claim. Now, Crawford could possibly, but what I'm saying, if now, the point what I'm saying is now Boots is the hot guy. So it's debatable in terms of who you think would win. Okay, whatever. That's not the point. His stock went way up. Now, let's say Crawford go and fight somebody. Crawford goes and gets beat. Rematch clause. Crawford gets beat again. He doesn't want to retire, though. So now, all of a sudden, he can't stop saying Boots' name. Keith Thurman comes back for whatever reason. He loses. He has no belt. So there's no rematch, nothing. But now, all of a sudden, he's calling Boots' name. You know what that means? I need a lifeline. I'm not where I was 2 years ago. I'm not in that same position. So now let's call out Boots. He want to fight, then let's go. You know what I'm saying? What's the problem? He been saying he want to fight me. Exactly. Now you're admitting it, but you're making it sound like he said he wanted to fight me, but now that I want to fight him, he don't want to fight anymore. Yeah, you lost. You're no longer champion. You don't offer anything. And in fact, if people are looking at you like you're over the hill now, well, what does Boots gain from beating you? So point is, Boots' career could come to an end without ever fighting a Keith Thurman or a Terrence Crawford, because at this point, their name holds no weight anymore. Do you understand what I mean? So if they end up saying, well, he don't want to fight it, no, you got to, now let's rewind and go back to who was calling out who and who wanted to fight who, right? I get it. Because, see, Terrence Crawford's stock went up, way up since he beat Spence. Do you understand what I'm saying? So, no, it's not like he needs Boots, but he do need Boots in terms of his legacy. Because there's no reason why he can't fight Boots. Now, Terrence Crawford finds himself in a similar situation as him and Errol Spence. Remember this? Go get a belt first, then we can fight. Crawford goes out and get a belt. Then Spence goes, all right, Sean Porter got a belt too. Why not take the easy route and fight Sean? Okay. Well, your new email champion in Jerron Boots Ennis has a belt that you got taken from you. Okay? He has it. You don't want it back. Is Jerron Boots Ennis not better than a lot of people, if not everybody else on your resume? Is he not that good? Is he not deserve to be, go put his skills to test against you? So what I'm saying, now here you guys have a guy that has a belt. He's in your division. And all I keep hearing is stories about Spence is back. Rumor has it, Spence isn't even training. Then all of a sudden we see the dude just get eye surgery. So we don't, let's just talk. Okay. It's been a minute since Crawford has fought. Let's say the fight doesn't happen. You wasted all that time with anticipation that it could. But what do you do after that? You see what I'm saying? So whereas Boots is there, these guys are there. Keith Thurman just sitting on the sidelines. You mean to tell me these guys don't want to be on the Saudi card? And see, people don't understand that. This will expose who's really about it and who's not. Now, as for Crawford, he could go out and retire right now, and they're gonna, he will go out on top. But if it's really just about right now just getting the big fights, which that's what he wants. He just wants the biggest money fights he can get. You got to look at who is available, who's in his weight class, who. Like right now, look at what Jermell Charlo, he's going through some bullshit, whatever. So we don't know what's going to happen with that. And after his performance against Canelo, Terrence Crawford was the one who said he has no interest in fighting Jermell Charlo. And I think if the fans had a choice. Who would you rather see him fight against, Charlo or Boots? I can't really say what the percentage would be because, see, Charlo is still a better known fighter than Boots. But real boxing fans would say Boots. You want to know why? They're in the same weight class. You don't have to go up to look for a solid challenger. The most you can say about Boots is he doesn't have a lot of popularity to his name. But in terms of skill, do you understand? You don't have to go up to fight Jamel. You don't have to go up for Canelo. Canelo already said he don't want to fight you. So again, now if you narrow it down, who do you want to fight? And Keith Thurman, like I said, he's Mr. Critique. He just wants to come do interviews and tell everybody how this guy fight, how he would fight this guy, and what this guy depends on his style and how he this and he that. Okay, great. You can analyze this guy's style. Why don't you fight him? And this is what I'm saying. These guys are looking for one big payday or the next big payday. And for a guy like Crawford, who we know he's skilled, he can fight. We know that. But same thing, there's challenges. Like, if you look at really, how many guys at 147 do you really want to see Crawford fight? Outside of Boots. How many? And at this point, if he fought Keith Thurman, it would be more of a, okay, we got the fight. It is what it is. But who really gives a shit? And nobody expects Keith Thurman to win. Now, things happen. Upsets happen. But Keith Thurman is just sitting on his ass doing much of nothing. So even for him to be training, we already know if he don't shine in that fight, he's going to, or whatever fight, he's going to say, it's ring rust. Now, here's the funny thing. I remember the fighter. It wasn't, when the lady asked him about Haney going up, saying that he was looking at fighting Conor Ben, Teofimo said he's going to fight Mario Barrios with this sarcastic smirk on his face. Now, why he said that is because he's saying Mario Barrios isn't that good of a fighter. Okay, wait. Let's look at Mario Barrios. He got stopped by Tank, went the distance at 135, came up to 147 and went the distance with Keith Thurman. So that's when she's saying that Haney's saying that he wants to go to 147 and he wants to, like, Conor Ben is the guy that they're looking at. And he says he's not going to fight Conor. He's not going to fight Conor. And he says Mario Barrios, okay? My whole thing with that is Mario Barrios got criticized for losing to Tank, but got high praise for losing to Keith. Let's just say, for example, if Devin Haney did fight Mario Barrios, right? Let's say if he did do that. Another former Tank opponent, another former Keith Thurman opponent. So if Haney goes in there and gets the job done against him, so what? What are you doing in the meantime? Other than being retired, yet you're still champion. Just talking. So while one is talking, the other's walking. You see what I'm saying? So my point, part of my point is outside of what the Saudis are doing, see, everybody else is doing the same old, same old. And that's why a guy like Teofimo would make that comment that way, as if there's no big deal to fight on the Saudi card. Because why? I don't want to be told who you want me to fight. Even though you're the one paying the big money. I want to fight who I want to fight. And I don't know who I want to fight. I haven't figured it out yet. That's why I'm retired, but I'm still holding the belt, because I'm trying to figure myself out. We know Teofimo is very emotional. I think he's too damn emotional. And he's always talking like with a chip on his shoulder. So even when he's smiling and grinning and being goofy and silly and dancing and all that, when it comes to fighters and you start asking about certain guys, he don't even want to talk about certain fighters. Why? These are the guys he don't want to fight. You know, and when you, the funny thing about Teofimo is, and he needs to understand this about himself, every time he claims that he offered to fight someone, but they didn't want to fight, it's never something like that he can prove or documented, or the other side is saying, yeah, it's always with him, it didn't have. But we see fighters walk down on Teofimo, get in his face, and he don't fight them. And just to say they don't really want to fight, they just want the clout, they just want the payday. Okay, look, regardless of what their intentions are, if they are as good or better than the next person you fight, that makes you look terrible. It exposes you as being a ducker. And at some point, like we see with so many fighters, with different fighters now, people get tired of your fanboys are always going to be there, but fans in general are going to start getting tired of excuses and lies. Like he made a comment about these people not really, they're not really my fans, man. They're not really fight fans. Y'all supposed to know this stuff about me, man. No, see, big difference. Being a fighter fan versus a fight fan, two different things. Two different things. And so basically all these excuses and all this unnecessary information, it has nothing to do with why. Like for you, the interest of seeing you fight the top guys. And my thing is, in every division, you don't hear me trying to cushion anybody. Ramla Ali lost her title. Got dropped, got stopped, got beat. You know, it was like, whoa, right? And everybody was like, oh, see? And she talking about fighting Ebony Bridges. Man, Ebony Bridges would have did this and would have did that. Ramla Ali comes back, beats the woman that beat her. Why would you not want to rematch the person that beat you, right? Ebony Bridges gets in there last month or whatever, and gets beat. So now you go from saying, oh man, and she Ramla wants to fight Ebony, and she couldn't even beat this chick. Like as if this chick is garbage, but Ramla comes back and win. And as you're celebrating Ebony, she loses. You understand what I mean? So basically, Ramla losing to that chick made you automatically say she can't beat Ebony. You don't know that. And that's why fights need to happen. And why I'm emphasizing on what the Saudis are doing, and why I'm bringing this awareness to the forefront about how they are exposing people. That's not their intentions. I don't know. I just think their intentions is, hey man, I think this would be a great fight. This would be let's match this guy with this guy. But how they expose it? Well, you're exposing yourselves. Because the point is, when I'm saying they're exposing these guys, is they're giving you the best opportunity, the biggest of your career. And yet, you guys don't want to fight. So, if you don't want to fight, why'd you become a boxer? And listen, y'all, for everybody right now that wants to see, Tank versus Shakur, want to see Teofimo versus Haney, stuff like that. In closing, I'm going to say, for the people who watch an interview and find a guy entertaining, or they like the guy because he's the same nationality, or whatever it may be, he motherfucker look like your cousin, you ask the question of how could you not like that guy? I have a better question. If you like a guy based on what comes out of his mouth, or the actions of him being silly and dancing and being a goofball and all that, well, how could you not like a guy that's consistent and doing nothing but trying to fight the best fighters, trying to make history? How could you not like a guy that stands on business and that's actually making it happen? Yeah, that's a better question. Because to be honest with you, I don't tune into anybody's channel to watch them pop lock. I don't tune in to watch them twerk. I don't tune in for any of that nonsense. So yeah, I can say I clearly have more respect for a fighter that's out there trying to get the big fights versus somebody who say, I am the big fight. I don't have to fight these guys. Because that's what you're basically getting. That's what you're getting. And how could you not like a guy who, I'm the champion, but I'm calling out the challengers, because the challengers are making excuses to not fight me. Real ones can see what's happening. Fanboys don't. they never see what's happening. They are not intelligent enough to see what's happening. Okay, they're naive as hell. They don't understand reality. They think that this circus nonsense, like Teofimo said, the belts actually do matter. And he made mentions of how Ryan and Raleigh both was talking about how the belts don't matter. But now all of a sudden it does, and they really do. It's not about Instagram follows and all that. Okay, then. So then you should understand. If the belts matter, then you need to be out there testing yourself against other champions. And after you say, I always think, after you say all these things about another fighter, outside of your fanboys, the purists want to know, they're interested to see who your next challenge is going to be. And then what's the purpose of you fighting that person? Especially when bigger fights were on the table, but you turned them down. So yeah, just saying, I saw it, and as usual, Teofimo's controversial as hell and just say a bunch of shit. So what he's going to do, I have no clue. I really don't. But he seems to know or think he knows everything that Haney's going to do or anybody else is going to do. But yet, you're criticizing the possible choice of an opponent because you think you know, and even if you're right, so what? It doesn't matter. Okay, so if he fights Barrios, so what? Right? But you don't want to fight Haney. So why does it matter who Haney fights? You don't want to fight him. Same thing can happen. You go fight somebody, get beat, then all of a sudden now you need Haney. Now you start Haney this, Haney that. When we can all go back into the archives, pull up videos of you turning the fights down when you thought your shit didn't stink. This is what I'm saying. It's just basically smoke and mirrors with a lot of guys. And look, Teofimo can fight. Haney can fight. Tank can fight. These guys can fight. Some of them, for whatever reason, just don't want to fight. And when they do, they want to be able to pick who they want to fight. And they feel like because they're the champ, they should have that luxury. That shit all needs to change for the better, for boxing to move on and become a better place. You understand what I'm saying? Versus all of this, let me sit back and have my belt on my shoulder like I'm some AEW or Impact Wrestling, champion or something, but I'm not going to get in there and fight nobody until I feel like doing it. Like I said, he's already 26. And people act like they make it seem like, look, a boxer's years in the ring, in all honesty, I don't know if you ever looked at it this way, but in reality, a boxer's years in that ring, in terms of a career, the lifespan, is similar to a dog. What is it? 1 year for a dog is 7 years. That's really how it is. Because we know the human body is not designed to get beat up on and you be able to sustain, the ability to talk properly and think properly and not get brain damage and not have, things wrong with you physically at the end of your career. It's really not designed for that. So some people are going to be more fortunate than others that they can walk away. Like I said, look at Derek Chisora, all the beatings he took, and he doesn't talk with slurred speech. He pauses a lot when he talks. Sometimes he's smiling, pauses, you ask him a question, and you don't know if he's just being silly or if he really stuck in mid-thought, but I'm just saying, right? So it's really like before you know it. Because like, for example, you can work at the post office until you damn 75, 80, as long as you can walk and carry that goddamn bag, right? Try to box until you're 80. Well, even though Barroso looked like he's on his way to doing that shit. But no, you know what I'm saying. Like real shit. You cannot take these years for granted, man. I can remember seeing certain fighters, man, you see the hand speed, you see everything, the reflexes, and then all of a sudden, Roy Jones. I used to watch Joey Camacho fight. I remember watching him, and I'm like, yeah, this dude is dying. Hey, all of a sudden, I see him fight. I remember one fight, I can't remember the guy name who beat him, but it was like you could see he wasn't the same fighter. And that's many fighters. But I'm saying we see it, we watch it, and then we watch them still hanging around like, damn, he's still fighting? In like empty high school gyms and whatever, just and trying to tell you I'm better now than I was back then and all this nonsense. And you know, when you had it, you took it for granted. And I know I'm not the only one that see this, but it's a fucking travesty when you look at what the 135 division had and how they don't have that anymore. That's a fucking travesty. That is a fucking travesty. You had Tank Davis, Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez, Lomachenko, all at the same fucking time. At the same time. Shakur wasn't there yet, but he's there now. And just look at what's going on. Look at what's going on. So all of these guys, time waits for nobody. And you have a situation where going up in weight, maybe certain guys might meet up, but guess what? They meet up now when they're a shell of themselves. They meet up now when they're no longer what they used to be. So it doesn't even matter. This fight doesn't even matter anymore. And that's just like, you know, it's one thing even when you have two fighters, like, it's one thing like you have one or two fighters that didn't fight each other. Just say two particular fighters that didn't fight each other during their career and they were in the same division. But goddamn, but you know, but when you have 4 or 5 guys that's like top quality guys, or at least that's what it seems like, and they have the popularity and everything, but you cannot look at that division. 135 was the hot division at one point, and look at how things changed. So what I'm saying is, even for what we see going on then, what we saw going on then, we still see it right now. Excuses to not fight each other. And that's why I say, look at what's happening with the heavyweight division. You know, I don't know. Anthony Joshua was unified champion. Maybe just for the accomplishment, maybe he wants to become undisputed again. Who knows? It's a lot of weight on your shoulders. And the problem with, like, look at the politics. Usyk had a mandatory in Daniel Dubois, right? Who's his other mandatory? But anyway, point is, he's had one. He has, because he has multiple belts. But my point is, look at how long Tyson Fury has been holding that WBC. And this man has not had one mandatory the entire time. Mauricio Suleiman sat there and said, Tyson Fury, okay, is a victim of the times because these guys don't want to fight him. They're purposely overpricing themselves because they don't really want to fight Fury. So Mauricio Suleiman sat there and lied to all of you and told you guys something that you know is not true. And we know how things really unfolded, and it's all been done and said in front of a camera. And that's how we know. Then you turn around and protect the man. So clearly, you said you feel sorry for him, and you label him a victim. Right. So when I bring up the point that this man has not had one mandatory the entire time he's been holding these belts, yet Usyk had to fight a mandatory. Look at the situation with Urkovic, right? That's the IBF. But Fury don't hold that. No, but he does hold a WBC, and he's not had one freaking mandatory. So that means if Usyk does win against Fury, and then he wins again, well, if he wins, if they don't exercise the rematch clause, he automatically has a mandatory in Urkovic. You see what I'm saying? So the pressure of being undisputed champion is you have to fight your mandatories or you're going to get stripped. Now, if you want to get the belts just to say, okay, I became that, then I don't care. They can strip me, whatever. I don't care. That's something else. But to hold on to those belts, you have to fight your mandatories, which means your mandatories might come in the way of a bigger fight that the fans want to see more than whoever that mandatory is, but it's not a duck. Okay, it's not a fucking duck. These are your mandatories. Fight your mandatories. People are just childish and talk stupid shit. It's not a duck because you're fighting your mandatories. Okay, the problem is, like, again, boxing doesn't have any structure. We've always known that. No structure. There's no balance. And pretty much people that have a real fighter's mentality and this era of time is going to suffer criticism, a lack of understanding from the fans because they don't understand what's happening behind the scenes, and they don't look at things from a realistic standpoint. So they're going to go through that. Whereas these guys that know how to get in front of a camera, talk a bunch of bogus shit, oh, that's the man right there. Why? Because he's funny. Well, tell him to go get a clown suit and join the fucking circus. This is boxing. And I get so sick of it. Oh, but it's entertainment. It's entertainment. Lies and bullshit is not entertaining to me. It's just lies and bullshit. Tell me what y'all think about Teofimo Lopez and his comments, and what do y'all think is going to happen with him? He says he knows what Haney's going to do and everybody else. What do y'all think Teo's going to do? Never fall in love with lies. Remember, the truth brings hate out of people, and I will catch y'all on the next video.